What's good everyone, it's your boy yadiiiigg, 4 eyes, 2 G's here, and today we're here to talk about D-Savage, and D-Savage has had an interesting rap career to say the least. Once ushered in by the likes of your Ian Connors and John Rosses, set to be the frontier of the SoundCloud wave, he's fallen out with the likes of Ian, Cardi, Uno, Forney, etc. Plus, his terrible decision to side with Joey Fats has heavily halted his career. But I can't lie, as someone who was a fan of him since the very start, I've stayed a fan and consistently enjoyed his music, even if I did think some of his decisions actively hurt his career. But I'm so happy to be making this video because I think we're finally at a stage where over the past year or so we've seen him mature a ton and take some big steps forward. So let's break it down.
Now you're on the screaming, I'm sorry. I can fix a thing, no, not hardly. Split a bench so they on varsity, but you can never give your all, just party. Wish I could go back in time, remove me from your life.
Firstly, let's have a look at his Spotify numbers. See, the hardest thing for these artists who come from the SoundCloud era is being able to see the same growth and capitalize and transfer to the massive audiences over on the streaming services. And it took a while for Savage, and he's still a bit behind, but he's starting to see growth. The earliest data I have access to is May 21st, where he had 277k, and then by March of this year, he had over 400k. And whilst these numbers aren't the amazing huge growth that I've shown you guys in other videos for other artists, this is still great considering the context of D-Savage's career and the situations in regards to beefs and different labels he's been in, and this means that a lot of people are still discovering D-Savage and he's keeping them around month to month. And on top of the Spotify numbers, he's been racking in good numbers recently on SoundCloud as well, with How Does It Feel and No Pity performing very well. Speaking of music though, can we take a minute and appreciate how good his music is sounding? Tracks like No Pity, How Does It Feel, MIA have been on non-stop repeat for me. As I said, I've been listening to D-Savage literally since the 30 round clip days and have kept up to date, but I think recently especially he's been able to build on his sound, and tracks like these or even Pill or She Ready from Trust No One show him taking that SoundCloud sound he had but really upping the production value to make it sound much more professional and well-rounded. He sounds clearer and cleaner than ever, and I think he's making some of his best music ever. And I want you guys to let me know, do you think these recent releases of D-Savage's are better than his older music like your Tendencies, your 30 round clips and your Jokers, or do you prefer the older D-Savage? Let me know in the comments, I want to know. And so importantly, D-Savage in general just seems to be maturing and putting all the BS in the past that negatively affected his career behind him. He seems to be less about wanting to beef with literally anyone to keep up this tough guy image, like when he beefed with DJ Academics, which was so lame, or when he kept going at Cardi. Now he seems to be moving in a much better way. No recent beefs that I can think of, and we've even seen him squash a beef with Uno and collab with him again, and we've also seen him be pictured with ASAP Ills. Stuff like this is great, and I'm hoping we see him continue in this vein. Another big thing is more consistent releases and less leaks. Longtime fans like myself will know the painful release period of albums like D-Phoenix, where he had basically a whole album worth of leaks and then some due to him taking too long to release a project. I think his questionable label situations have played a role in this. His situation with Cutthroat Records and Joey Fats held back his career heavily, and I've spoken out against that decision a lot. And then when he went to Capitol Records, he even spoke out against them a couple times, saying that they were holding him back from releasing music. And guys, before we continue with D-Savage, I just want to give a couple quick shoutouts from my Instagram. Big shoutouts goes to Jake_Cafolo and Von29k. Appreciate you guys showing me love over on my Instagram. If you guys don't, at yadiiiigg, if you guys know what to do, go support your boy. Also a reminder about my Playboy Cardi and Uzi and Travis merch tees, link in the description to cop if you're interested. And I do put a lot of effort into these videos and keeping up the content for you guys, so if you could hit that like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that good YouTube stuff, much appreciated. But let's get back to D-Savage. And now he is seemingly independent, with his latest Spotify release coming out under D-Savage rather than through Capitol like his other releases have, which overall I support and I think is a great move. As we've seen recently, now he has the freedom to drop when he wants, and we've already seen this pay off for him. I think keeping up the consistency of the releases and the visuals is super important to him developing moving forward. And lastly, I think if we're ever gonna see him properly blow up, this is the crucial thing. D-Savage seems to be fairly tight with the likes of Trippie Redd and Lil Tecca. We've seen them together on a few occasions before, and we recently just saw Tecca in the MIA video, Trippie in the Sadiddy video, and then a snippet on D-Savage's IG, which was seemingly for a collaboration between him and Trippie. I think if he's able to get a feature from either of these released, it will be huge, because a lot of D Savage's fan base is like myself, where the 2015, 2016 SoundCloud generation that listen to your Unos, your Fawnies, your Warhols, your Luckies, but he hasn't been able to translate to the newer generation in the same way like he was able to capture us. So having features alongside the likes of your Trippies and your Techers will be super important to helping him establish a name for himself with the newer generation of listeners and continue growing. So yeah, overall, those are just a few things I wanted to talk about in regard to D Savage. As I said, I'm loving his recent music. I've literally been playing How Does It Feel, No Pity, and MIA back to back non-stop, and hopefully we can continue to see more releases and continue to see him only get bigger. But that's all from me today, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, follow me on Instagram at yadiiiigg, and there are more videos of mine on screen right now. Make sure to check them out if you haven't.